How to wholesale real estate with no money down. How to wholesale real estate for free. These are the usual taglines you hear on social media from people teaching wholesaling real estate. Now on my channel, I've always taught and said that this is not exactly 100% true. Yes, it can happen, but most of the time it's not true because it does require some sort of an investment in order for you to start your business, to get lists, to get a phone number, and other associated costs with running a business. But with wholesaling, there are different ways that you can go about it where you have little to no costs in order to get your very first deal, and people have done it. And so in today's video, I'm actually going to show you all a real example of a property I actually just closed on that I could have just wholesaled it, but instead I'm going to flip it, but I actually got it for free essentially. And I'm going to share my screen with you all and share with you all the exact way to wholesale properties for free. Now, before we go on, be sure to like this video, subscribe, and comment down below if you have any questions, because I think this is an important topic, especially when beginners don't have much money to invest in real estate investing or even wholesaling. And so these are some ways that you can get started if you don't have a big budget. So I'm right here on Zillow. So you can use any website, Realtor, Redfin, whatever website you like. And it's finding properties on market. This is how you would wholesale properties with no money down, right? For free, essentially. This is probably, I don't know if there's other ways that you can do it. Yes, of course, just looking on Craigslist for sale by owner, Facebook Marketplace, but properties that are listed online that need work, that's how you're going to find it. Or by driving by a house, knocking on the door, or somehow using your phone to get somebody's number or word of mouth. These are the free ways. But this is going to be the exact way that I found this property. And it was online. So this is how these are the steps so you can learn how to do it with no money. So I'm just in a city right now, and what I'm going to do is I want to find properties that's been listed for a while and also properties that need work. And you can cut down your criteria too. If you want a certain price point, certain bath point, you can do that. But for right now, we'll just keep it to just houses. So it could be multifamily, all these other things. And then from here on more, this is on Zillow, on Redfin, Realtor, it might look a little bit different. I'm going to go down to keywords and I'm going to put TLC, right? Because sometimes they put TLC or as is on the description when you know a property has been, or a property needs work. So I'm just going to put TLC and see what comes up. You see how less properties, there's only 95 properties now. Now we can do another keyword. If we put something like as is right here, let's see what happens, 99. So these are different keywords that you can use to find properties that need work. So let's just start with TLC. Now here are the different properties. Here's a 3-2. It's been listed for 234 days. It's only 134,000. So what I would do is I would click it. Another thing I would do actually, before doing that, I would go to newest. So I can show these properties from new to old. And as you can see, I did save one of them because this property needs work, but I would get it at a much lower price. So that's the other thing, you have to get it at a lower price. So even if it's listed kind of high, you would still offer a lower amount. And that's what I did with my other property. But I like to go newest and just go to the second page because that's when you get over 30, over 40 days. Let's see how many days. We're at 47 days over here. So these are the type of properties that I would make offers on. So this property right here, you can tell it needs work, and you'll be surprised how much of a discount even newer properties that look like this. You don't know the motivation behind the seller with those type of properties. This property that property. So for right now, let's just go to the second page. And then let's check out this house. It's at 199, but it kind of looks updated. I don't think it needs a ton of work, so I wouldn't even. I would try to get a discount, honestly. In today's market, you can do that, but I would just pass that one. This one, you can look at. Okay, it needs some updating. I know this area 245. It just needs work, but it's been listed for over 51 days. Maybe that's not enough. Maybe it needs more, right? More days on market in order to show motivation. So we are seeing some price drops over the past couple of weeks. It started at 269, now it's at 245. And I'm telling you all, with these properties, especially if you're wholesaling it, you have to use the 70% roll minus rehab. Essentially, you would get it. I like to aim for half of the market value for a property if it needs a full rehab. So I don't think this property needs a full rehab, but I just know this area. I'm pretty sure in this area I could get this property for around, all fixed up, maybe 280-ish, 432, all fixed up. So half of 280, that's 140. Now, it doesn't need a ton of work. If you want to replace the paneling and replace the kitchen cabinets, yeah, that's going to cost money. Redo the bathrooms. Yeah, so it is a full cosmetic rehab, but it doesn't seem like the bones, I'm not sure, but it doesn't seem like the bones are severely damaged, or like the foundation, the plumbing, electrical, all the other type of stuff. So, with this type of property, maybe I'll offer them 175, 170, right? Put 50 into it and then sell it at 280, sell it at 300. So yeah, but I like to go for even more days on market. So for example, if you go down here, you have a foreclosure here, and you have a house right here. So this property just looks like it needs cosmetic updates, and it may have flooring issues and things of that nature. So this is listed at 190. I know this area, it's not the best area, so that's why it's sitting on top of it being too of a high price for that type of property. And so I would just look for a property that looks like it needs work, essentially. And those are some examples. So for example, this one, and I could tell you all, I actually offered on this property, but it's not in the best area. But this property needs updating. And so I would just go to the owner. It's been listed for over 100 days. And I will just offer them what I want for it, essentially. So a property like this, I can tell you all, I think I offered $100,000 for this property. And of course they said no, because I know the area, it's not the best area, but this would be a rental for me. Or did I offer them 140? Maybe it was 140, and maybe it wasn't that low. But I would stick to my number, and I will just keep on going back to them. And I will also look at properties that needs, maybe it's a 1.5 bath. I can add a shower and make it 2 full baths, right? Or a property that has more square footage, but it's only a 2-bed or only a 3-bed, and I can make it a 4th bed. I can make it a 3-bed, or I can make it a second bath, add a second bathroom without, adding an addition to the exterior of the home, of course. And so I look for properties like that, and then I price accordingly to that ARV, the new ARV. And so from there, for example, I would just contact this agent, and I would say, hey, I'm an investor in the area. Are you looking, are they open? How flexible are they with offers? And I can just talk to you all about what I said to this owner about that, because to the agent. Let me take a look at it with you all. Hi, my name is Matthew. I'm an investor in the area. How flexible is the seller with the pricing? They said he hasn't given me a bottom, but he knows that he knows that he has it priced a bit higher than recommended. He's open to offer. He has turned down one that he didn't like. And then I said, other than cosmetic, what other repairs are needed? Like, are there slumps in the floor, foundation, structural issues? And she told me things about the age of the roof. And she felt like the flooring was fine, but the flooring wasn't fine when I went in there. And this house was listed at around, originally I think it was around 235, 240. It had a price drop, and I started talking to them after a 10K price drop. And I offered them listening to you all. This is how bold I am right now. My first initial offer, when a home was listed at $230,000, I offered them $110,000. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing right now. And of course, this would be a hard money loan. So I said 2-week closing, contingent on inspecting, but I will buy it as is. They can leave any trash in the property and whatnot. She right away told me, I'll tell him about the offer, but there's no point of writing it up because he already turned down an offer higher. So I want to know the number. So I'm like, okay, would 125 be more to that last offer? Not directly asking, but she said, no, my client said I could tell you it was 150,000. And I just said, hey, I'll sweeten the deal. I add 5K more and offer him 155,000. And then, he said, is this still cash till we close? No further cleanup? I was like, yes. Hard money, boom, boom, boom. And then they offered it, and then she came back, and he said he wanted essentially 175,000. I was like, I'm firm at 155. And then she said, a couple of days passed. I was like, any updates? And then she said the client is working on a deal because they were looking for a house, a property. And so if it works out, he'll be willing to take my offer. If he gets it worked out today, I'll let you know. And then I said, okay, in the meantime, would he be available to show me the property? So I saw the property in person already. And then I went back to the agent and I said, hey, I'll be firm at $155,000. And then she later told me he's not going to accept it. Sorry. And then I said, what price would he accept? She said 175. And then during that time, I noticed it did go under contract. And it went under contract and then it went out of contract. So I was like, maybe there is more interest. Maybe somebody was willing to get it around 175. Maybe they offer him 190, whatever. I was like, okay, can we meet in the middle between two prices of 175 and 155? I'll be at 165. And then we went back and forth, and then she kind of stopped talking to me because I was all like, yeah, I'm firm at that. And then out of like a couple days later, she says, are you still interested in this property? I was like, yes. She says, great, I'll fix up the paperwork and send it to you to sign. Just like that, 165. So this property was originally listed at $240,000 and needed a full renovation. Now, a big thing, and these are things that you need to watch for, is that this property was listed at 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. But this property is almost 1,500 square feet. So I'm all like, I can easily add a bath somewhere. Now, the thing is, they had a second bath and the plumbing fixtures were there, but they just stored it. And so they didn't put that on the listing. They didn't add a second bath. And it didn't look like an addition. It looked like it was part of the house. So these are different telltale signs that you can look for in listings as a wholesaler, as you're wholesaling, in order to, be that offer that they can accept. Because a lot of people who are looking at it, even investors, may just be like, okay, it's the 3-1. I'm not even going to look at it. Move on to the next one. But these are different. You got to read the description. You got to look at the pictures. You have to even ask. Sometimes I ask the realtor, hey, do you think there's a way I can add a second bath? Or is there like a space somewhere, a second living room? Or, do they have a living room and family room where I can add a bedroom? Is there closet space in the hallway that I can still? And I'm actually under contract on another property where it's the same thing, where there's, closet space in the hallway where I'm going to turn the half bath into a full bath. I'm just adding a shower. And so, and getting rid of a hall closet and adding a full bath obviously a bath is worth infinitely more, not infinite, a lot more than a hallway closet. And so these are things that you have to look at. And then from there, we locked it up. I closed in 2 weeks. I still have it, and then I allowed him to stay for 1 week after because he needed the funds to go over, put his down payment and time to move out. And he already moved out even before the 7 days ended. And I still need to go and look at it because I haven't been back. But with this, if you're wholesaling this property, you're not closing like me, right? You're putting it under contract, and you're having the realtor put in an assignment clause in the contract, right? Or you're sending your own contract saying, hey, we have to put and or signs. I have an end buyer. Of course, they'll still get paid because the seller is obligated to pay the agent their fee. So as long as they get the price that you all agree on, you can do that. Because honestly, I could have found a buyer at 170 or 175, and they pay the closing costs, right? And I would have made 5-10 grand off that deal, right? And I would be no money out of pocket because I found this property on the market, and I just used my cell phone to contact the agent, to look at the property, to take pictures myself on my phone, to do videos if I needed to put up a marketing campaign to send to cash buyers. And I know I could have gotten a cash buyer who was looking at a property like that. So that is how you find properties for free on market and wholesale them. And you just have to make sure you work with a good realtor, a good agent who is willing to work with you, understand what you're doing, and of course they're fine with putting that clause in the agreement so you can find your cash buyer and send it off to your cash buyer. Because this property was listed, and I think it was on the market for maybe 60 days-ish. So there was motivation on his side for sure. And so we got it done, and I'll keep you all updated on the flip and show you all the finished product of that. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, and let me know any other ways that you have found to get a deal for free with no money.